Coming to this molding sand, this molding sand can be broadly classified into two, natural and synthetic. In the natural molding sand, uh, this is ready for use as it is dug from the ground. So, good natural molding sand are obtained from Albany, New York, etc. Generally, this natural sand consists of 65.5% of silica grains, 21.7 percentage clay content, and 12.8 undesirable impurities. Too much clay content and other impurities will fill up the gaps between the sand grains. So, proper binding or good binding takes place, which helps in good molding process or products of good finish. And this will hinder the necessary passage of the steam and other gases during pouring of the metal. The another type is the synthetic molding sand. This is made by mixing together specially selected high quality clay free silica with about just 5% of clay. They are tailor made to give more desirable result. Some of the advantages are refractive grain size is more uniform. It has higher refractiveness, that is, it can withstand more than 3000 degrees Celsius Fahrenheit. Less bonding agent is required. That is why we have only 5% of the clay, and more suitable for use with the mechanical equipment. So, molding machines can be used to make molds with these sands. And advantages of natural molding sand is its moisture content range is wide, and the molds can be repaired easily. Coming to the properties of molding sand, these are the various properties required for a sand which is used for making molds. First one is porosity. This ability of the molding sand to allow gases to pass through. It should be porous. Cohesiveness, to hold its particles together, and adhesiveness enables the proper lifting of cope with the sand. And plasticity, it flows to all corners around the mold when rammed. And flowability, to free flow and fill the recesses and fine details in the pattern. Collapsibility, sand mold collapse automatically after the solidification of the casting. Refractiveness, why it is see the collapsibility after the solidification is done, then these hot gases will dry up the moisture in the sand mold. That is why it is collapsed after the casting. And refractiveness, to withstand high temperature of the molten metal without a fusion or soften. The other types of molding sands or green sand, which consist of silica and 15 to 30% of clay and with about 8% water. Generally, the molds made from this sand are known as the green sand mold. It is only simple and rough casting products. It is used for only simple and rough casting processes, and for both ferrous and non-ferrous metals, we use this green sand. In dry sand, the moisture is removed from the green sand. It is known as dry sand. The mold produced by the dry sand has greater strength, rigidity, and thermal stability. Once the mold is formed, we remove the moisture from the molding sand and the mold, so make it dry, so that the rigidity of the mold would be maintained. Loam sand is a mixture of 50% of sand and 50% clay, equal amounts. Water is added in sufficient amount to have some feasibility of making mold. It is used for large and heavy molds like turbine parts, hoppers, etc. Facing sand, the sand used for facing of the mold is known as facing sand. It consists of the silica sand and clay without addition of used sand. It is used directly next to the surface of the pattern, because the facing sand comes in direct contact with the hot molten metal, so that it will avoid the collapsibility of the mold cavity, and it gives some good strength and high refractiveness. Parting sand, it's a pure silica sand employed on the faces of the pattern before molding to avoid sticking of pattern with the other material, the sand. We use this potting sand. It is sprinkled on the pattern before it is embedded in the molding sand. Similarly, we have baking or floor sand. It is the old and repeatedly used sand of black color. And we have a system sand, core sand, and a molasses sand.